What's up everyone, it's Jan Bor's new video or new podcast as you are maybe listening it on Spotify as a new. I would like to also thank the members of my channel who has the advantage to listen to it a little bit sooner. So thank you for your support. I really appreciate it very, very much. If you want this also, you can become member too. But let's talk about one topic, and this is this crazy rule of Eurovision not having juries in the semifinal. And I know I'm talking about it a lot, but I will give you new perspectives, or maybe, I don't want to say new information, but let's say much more concrete examples or much more point of views than ever before. Let's talk. Alright guys, just let me tell you a little bit about the history. As you all know that in 2022 there was this big scandal of bribing the juries and some cartel connection between some countries accused. I don't want to mention them, but they were there. You can find it all every time and whenever you Google about Eurovision. The thing is that after these findings, there were excluded the juries from semifinals from 2023 and also 2024 and also 2025 actually. They are, of course, there kind of, but they are just shadowing the public vote. The thing is, and I have two things to say about this first, is that first of all, there was never any finding which would be commented by EBU or the people who decided to this. I think this is extremely huge downside of EBU in general, that they do some decisions and then they don't comment on it properly, they play hidden, that, and so on. Which this is exactly the opposite what you expect from Public Broadcaster Union, right? Because they, like, who else should be more transparent? Like, I don't like to play this game. I don't think it's fair. We all pay money for our public broadcasters. They therefore pay money for European Broadcaster Union. This is not a bit, it's a public money. We are talking about it. People deserve to know some state points. I understand that by lawyer points of view, this is hard to do, but then you're making decisions. We deserve to know the results. Like, why then we are talking about transparency? Why everything is about how politicians do this and this shitty stuff, if basically this is happening also on this ground. Anyway, this was the result. And the second thing I want to say about it, that instead of finding a reformation of the jury system, we, or EBU or the committees are all together, broadcasters included, they come up with the decision of cancelling the juries. No reforming the juries. They weren't aware that this is an important part of the project. No, we will cancel them, but just for semifinals, which is absolutely crazy, because now we have two completely different competitions. We have the finals with the professional rules, and we can also disagree with juries, but professional rules, and then we have semifinal, just public vote. Like, imagine any kind of sport without juries, and only like people how they are booing or clapping on the stadium will decide the football scores, the fouls, any other sports. Like, it would work, but definitely no one would call it professional sport. And this is what I want from Eurovision, to be a professional contest, not just fun entertainment show, for public. I want this to be a relevant musical competition, not just random thing. And we are getting to the fact that, first of all, officials, television professionals decided that this thing will be cancelled, but just from semifinals. Also agreed it will be in the finals, but without any reform whatsoever. So actually countries can bribe each other whatsoever to get better results in the finals, even though for them it's much more crucial to get to the finals. But still, this is there. There is no invented mechanism, nothing. And still we are going on, but with this decision came one logical thing and one logical step away from the logics of Eurovision, of how it was built last 10 years by Jon Ola Sand and his team. Even it was a very small team, but the people around the project who took this Eurovision seriously and who took it from the dark era to something which could be called prestigious, and some other people just knock it off in 2 years and basically put Eurovision into the dark path again. Why I'm saying this? Because prestigious contest, the prestige of the brand, this is the most important part of Eurovision brand, part of any competition, to be, to win something which extremely huge value, with something which can help your career extensively, something where the best of the best of the best competes. Again, I'm saying it's not about current superstars. It's about the best possible people potentially which country can deliver, which that year created the best possible song, which represents therefore the country. Now it's much more about the calculation It's much more about what will make us get through to the finals from semifinals. And if producers are smart enough, they have only two choices, which one is kind of random a little bit because you cannot really assure that your market, because it's, for example, smaller, or just that year is not that crazily strong in general by talents, for example, will deliver you this super ultra quality music. But if you have the urge to do it to succeed, you will try to do it and you will do maximum. Every producer will die in their work to find out the best possible talent. They will spend days and nights to searching and talking and negotiating the best possible artist with the best possible song to represent the country because they need to succeed. Now, it's much more easier to go absolutely local, and absolutely local ideally with a joke or just entertainment song, which regularly has zero international quality, zero international continuation, but it will extremely nicely fit to Eurovision. And this is a tricky thing because it's starting to be about that and being alive. And I know that I'm overreacting about this, but imagine you were a producer. Your task is to get to the finals, or you're fired, for example. What will you do? You will risk it, everything, for purpose that it can continue like this every single year, or you will go with the safe variant. And you will actually open Eurovision for a wider market in your home country, because of course you can now grab the funny stuff from home, because it's not about competition anymore. It's about who's the most funnier, who can make you laugh more, And we are seeing that this is happening, like bizarre and entertainment almost only will get in front now, because producers are kind of smarter about this. They have a survival instinct, and it's very hard to do it otherwise. Like, I'm very glad, for example, for Albania, because they're sending a quality song, a regular serious song. So some other countries probably will do the same, like Poland for sure, and some others. But there are so many more countries, more than in 2024, where joke will win, or very folkish, very local stuff with completely zero relevance abroad. But for Eurovision, and we again creating Eurovision being something extremely special, specific, inclusive, minority-based show instead of being like the top quality show. It is visually, it is kind of by scale, but is it by the content, which is most of it done by the music? It's not. It's not, and who says it is? It's basically just not seeing the truth. The thing is, with this rule also, that, and this is something maybe you never thought about, is that, before, even if you didn't qualify, you still had the split result between voting and public. And it's a big difference if you're 11th or if you're last. But what if now you're last, but you're last by public, but the shadow voting by juries, you're not? And it's a big difference when you come home, be perceived as a really last thing, the most shitty stuff, or you're not, This also matters for borderline qualifiers, because, of course, probably public and jury voting not differ that much in all of the stuff, because they are clearly the jokish things which would get through regardless of juries. And there are also things which has quality and would also get through regardless, because there are those top things which they need public vote. So this is always happen. But what about the 8th place, 9th place, 10th place? They might differ, and it's a big difference if you qualify or you don't qualify. And it's also very different if something stupid qualifies in front of you. Of course, in the year like last year, there is really not really difference from the fans' perspective if this song or that song. But imagine you're a producer or artist and you didn't get there, because people, but with the jury points, actually will normally get there, And this is absolutely crazy to know that you can only focus on one thing in the finals. You must focus on two, which also gives absolutely crazy advantage to the host country and Big Five countries, which are automatically in the finals and can really watch to top quality, very balanced song, which will work both publicly and for juries. They don't do their job right. This is their problem. Even I would say Italy is doing it, France trying it. The rest, that really depends. But they don't have to, this public check, they don't need to go through it. They don't need to care about neighbor voting. They don't need to care about allocation draw. They don't need to care about anything, yet they are not bringing it. It's their problem. But this rule gives them enormous advantage over the others because they really can focus differently, and pitifully they are also not doing it, which is also stressing me. But imagine the thing that so many little differences are there now with jury points and public points. Only public points are relevant and make your act look like funny. And I know from many producers, many head of delegations I was talking to, that they are not really happy about this rule to be happening because they are working their asses off. They are trying everything possible to find artists, find songs, find music, lyricists, negotiate the contracts, creating national selection and so on, and then they find out that they are drawn with the countries that they would never vote for them because they are voting for each other, and they're losing points, and because there is not this recognition of this country among those countries, and if they are not bringing like the super ultra good quality, they're done, and they can do whatever they want, they can try how hard they want, and they will never go through. And this is stressful, this is demotivational. And if those countries will become demotivational, they will leave, or they will just stop caring, taking Eurovision seriously, maybe sending another joke act or some crazy stupid things, because they know that just being in semifinal is not enough, the buzz is not enough, the artist is not really that visible as it would be in the finals. But if they have no reason to try, why would they try? Why would they put some energy into the project if they can do some completely different stuff? Why would they do it? And you want the producers from each broadcaster, your country, or from what country you are from, to try as hard as possible, right? To really put passion, to really put energy, to really put time for the act, which will after all represent you. And I think so many fans don't understand those all conclusions. I would understand from a fan perspective that you don't see that one decision can change Eurovision for another 10 years in a very bad way, and it will be very hard to take the prestige once again up. That's true, but I can already see the decline of quality of music. I can already see the decline of quality of taking Eurovision seriously. You know, I see this procedure. I see also how Eurovision again is talked about being political, about being stupid, freak show, gay show, whatsoever. Something which maybe some stupid people will say all the time, but now I can hear, and I was talking to some artists also in here, and they would say like, I wouldn't go to such project. And I said like, you would say no to 160 million people. It's like, what will I do there? Like, you know, it's not producing the quality I want. In what kind of light I will be? I said like 160 million people. I said like, but who gives me the assurance that I will get through this crazy rule? And who does it, right? Because it's not like a professional sport. Like in professional sport, if somebody makes a foul on you, it's a penalty, and then it's up to you if you make it or not. But if this is not there, this is not even there, like what is the reason? What is the reason to risk your time? Because it takes like 4 or 5 months to prepare yourself, which also means if you want to prepare yourself properly, go to pre-parties and so on, that you're losing your incomes, because no television will give you such money to really be relevant for your income. And who will you fight with? Like if you will fight with joke acts and you know that this is more likely a public preference, like what, like for Eurovision specifically, what is the, like why would you do it? You want Eurovision to be seen as a prestigious, high quality show. The artist needs to be seen as a high quality, prestigious show to be in. Not a freak show, not a stupid act show for some people to have fun. It should be also extremely relevant for the artist, and it should be also extremely relevant for the TVs and EBU. And I don't really understand why they don't see it, why they don't want to sit down and say like, okay, let's open up the discussion, let's bring in 3 or 4 or 5 types of how we can reform jury system in general to be more agreeable, less controversial, more controllable, because anyway nowadays what kind of control we have, and it might be relevant. This I can offer to anybody who's watching it. If they want help with this, I'm in. But there must be there is the need of it. Of course, for some countries, this is a brilliant system, because first of all, it's extremely non-transparent, and second of all, it's easier when you get a good draw and you have good neighbors around yourself, that the people will also give you points, and you have much higher chance to go through. Like if you don't send absolutely nonsensical or non-quality song, you have much higher chance to get through. And 5 points can be different, 3 points can be a difference, but depends if you get to the finals. It really, maybe for you, makes no sense. Like, why to be 11th or 10th really matter? Like, it's still a good... No. In the final or not. If you're not in the final, you can say like, yes, but we were 10th or we were 11th. This is fine. No, it's not. It's still better to be completely last in the finals, to be there, to have this exposure, to have this chance, to have those pictures, to have those experience, to say that I have this success to get through the semifinal. But how can you do it when this is not a fair game? It's not, and it's the game which declining Eurovision's quality. It screams in your face, the quality will go down, and no one really caring about it. So first of all, we have people who doesn't care about Eurovision in the way that it must be a more and more prestigious contest and be a more and more fun. Then we have there are people who taking care of Eurovision who doesn't care. This is made by public money, because this is made by public money. And how can you push the European market in general to be more international, even among itself, than to create quality? If you create jokes, no one cares. Like, what is the relevance? What is the vision of Eurovision? Why there is nobody who said like, the vision of Eurovision from my side is the next 10 years I want from this point to get there. We want to be there. We want to do this. No, we are hearing those political claims, like, just not to really disrupt anybody. Crazily bad communications. I know they're trying now to do something, but I still didn't hear what is the vision for Eurovision. It's nice that they will take care of some hardcore fans who are unpredictable, but you are, after all, not doing it for 10,000 people or 100,000 people. You are doing it for tens of millions of people around the whole Europe, around the whole globe, actually. And you don't see this responsibility. I don't understand. I don't understand why this is so hard to really reform, find a system, do something about it. Like, canceling everything, this is easy. Canceling people, this is easy. But you don't understand what kind of damages you are creating to the brand. Like, this is a question. Like, I hope that my listeners and the people who are watching understands what I'm thinking about, what is in my head, why I'm communicating it, and why I'm doing this podcast longer than maybe it should be. But I really want you to understand the intention of this, the future of this. You might say like, I'm really overreacting, but really, more and more joke acts will bring only more and more joke acts, because it's safer way. It will also bring the bad joke acts, and then Eurovision really will be taken again as ultra stupid show, which we will get drink anyway, we will watch it and we will have love. But it will have zero relevance. It will have zero relevance for the artist. Sweden will always win it, probably, because they will still take it seriously, and then there is no chance to fight them if many other countries will take it more of the public vote way. And then this contest is boring. I want this contest to be really the fight among the best, when there will be 20 songs with quality of Tattoo, not the same genre, but the same quality of Tattoo, and we will be really nervous who might win, because all of those 20 might deserve it. Who will be a little bit better? Who will slide down? Who will do it? Now we don't have it. Last year, absolute example. The previous year, a little bit, but we had this Lorraine at least. But last year was extreme example. No song really had any international relevance after Eurovision ended. No, none. Even Jost, who still had the best numbers, didn't really have the really good number. Like, he was regionally big, but not really something like Lorraine. Like 200,000 streams per day versus 2.5 million streams per day. And still, Lorraine is not a global star. But this is what we want, right? We want to be proud of Europe. Every country wants to be proud on their artist. And if Lorraine could do 2.5 million, every country can bring 2.5 million. It can. It's just, if the platform, as Eurovision is a platform basically, to attract the best of the best and push the limits of them. Push the limits. Be competitive even in national selection. Be extremely competitive at Eurovision to know that the best is succeeding, not the stupid or just funny thing, but the best which will have relevance even after, will win. And there will be more of this. This will be the proper competition. This will be not 160 million viewers. It will be 250 million viewers, because everybody will be thrilled to watch it. It will be the Champions League of music. And trust me, more countries would like to rejoin it, because who wouldn't touch this market, and who wouldn't like to touch the prestige, even for the regimes we don't agree with? This would be extremely attractive. We just need a huge reform of jury system, and we need to get juries back to semifinals. Without it, the Eurovision is doomed for many years. There can be exceptions, but in general, the quality will get lower as the standards in general are getting lower, because there is no quality control. But maybe you have other additions to this topic. Of course, I really would like to hear it, so write them in the comments below. I'm curious. And tell me, how do you like this podcast? It's just 22 minutes long or something like this, not that crazy as last time, but for sure I will get back to this topic maybe during or after Eurovision. And then you can grill me, roast me, I'm fine. But see you next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. This is it. Bye.